Let's move on to the big signings though. Let's spend some time here. Ja'Maar Chase, 40 million a year basically, and then you got Tee Higgins at just under 29. First things that come to mind with those signings, Joe Burrow is strapped. And the Bengals organization is strapped. They are pretty much landlocked now. What do you guys think?
Whoever is the agent that represents both T and Ja'Marr Chase just got paid. That's all I'm seeing right now. This man just finessed the Bengals into keeping both of them. Obviously, they were going to keep Ja'Marr, but that dude worked out two extensions for the same time frame, same amount of time, and got them both paid. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but give me some of that. Like, that's crazy.
I mean,
I think they got.
It's all good.
I think they got T. I think they got T below the market value. Actually,
I agree.
I would agree
I
with
would
that
agree.
too. The way I was thinking about it earlier is I put it in this way. The Bengals are a bodybuilder that only does upper body. They don't got the legs. They got chicken legs. They got all the strength up top, nothing at the bottom on the O line. Bengals are they're smart for keeping their guys. Yes, they got T where they probably got him at a good price, but there's still that sore that they have there, and they need to address it fast. Or Joe Burrow, their franchise guy, is going to continue to be injury prone.
yeah. I think what really we're feeling is the pressure. That's what the money says. The money says that these guys are going to be the reason that we're going to win games, and if that doesn't happen, it's going to look really bad, and they're going to be in a mess. I think every NFL team winning the Super Bowl, the ultimate goal we're all going to talk about when we talk about Cincinnati, does T. Higgins and Ja'Marr keeping them around, does that get them closer to what we all think Joe Burrow can do, and that's win a Super Bowl? I think every team, it relies on, can you draft and develop young players, and can you do it on the cheap? I think that's just super, super magnified here. If the Bengals can draft and develop just 60% of the way Philadelphia has, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Ja'Marr Chase are special, special. They're going to keep Trey Hendrickson around. If they can keep those boys around and draft and develop some guys for the cheap around that core, they're going to be geniuses.
Chuck, I completely agree with what you're saying. 100%.
The magnifying glass is just very on them now.
I completely agree. The issue is it's hard to draft like that. It's a lot easier said than done. I mean,
Yes.
Philly is an anomaly with how well they've drafted on their defense. The reason that they can pay A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, and have that kind of offensive line is because a lot of their defense is on rookie contracts. That's hard to do.
You just have to draft better than what the Mendoza line they all say. You just have to draft good. If you can draft good over the next 5 years, I think they have a chance because, look, Ja'Marr Chase's contract is unreal. That dude is ultimate football player. You can win games with guys like this. You just have to draft and develop decently.
Easier said than done.
But that's the case with every team. If you're an NFL team and you don't draft and develop and get guys for the cheap, you're bottom of the pack. So I think the magnifying glass is just going to be intensified. That's all it is. Because they have guys, I mean, you're shelling out $100 million to two players. Yeah, we're going to need to see something.
If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm actually disgusted at these signings. And not Jamar's, but T's. I think T is actually getting underpaid. But in reality, what wins Super Bowls? You're telling me Patrick Mahomes can get to the Super Bowl as many times as he did without the weapons he had on offense? What carried him most of the time? His defense. The Eagles, their defense as well. Previous times, Matthew Stafford when the Rams won, yeah, he had Cooper Kupp, but that defense is what carried them all the way. People are forgetting that defenses still win championships today, and that if you load up on offense like the Bengals have done, it doesn't matter if you're getting outscored by 50 and you put up 45. You have to make those big time stops. Super Bowls come to, or even just playoffs in general. Those games come down to who makes the last stop, not who scores last. And a lot of players a lot of organizations are forgetting that. But like I mentioned earlier, I genuinely think the Bengals are looking at this and saying, how do we stay relevant? And this is the only way we can. If we upset Joe Burrow's gone. So we need to appease Joe. And they had to do that. And so now they're going to have to not be able to get Trey Hendrickson, and their defense is going to be in shambles again.
Couldn't have said it better. Absolutely, you got to invest in the defense. I'm actually seeing trade. They're like that talks that they're going to work it out. How that will happen, God knows. But I couldn't have said it better, Grant. Spot on.
Well, the craziest thing that I read this morning, somehow the Bengals are saving money with all this.
Well, yeah, they are because they're
Well,
able to move that money out.
You're right. I get it. It's just funny. Like amidst all the madness,
Yeah.
all this money that they're signing up for, somehow it actually gives them more money to maybe pay a guy like Trey Hendrickson. It's just,
They'll get Trey signed, yeah.
the cap is real, but it's just funny. Like if you don't look at it closely and you just don't really pay attention, it can seem like it ain't real. It can seem really fake.
My thing is, what's been killing Joe Burrow is his offensive line. Instead of signing T, why don't we go get Mekhi Becton, who played really good for the Eagles this year at guard? Why don't we go trade for Joe Tooney? Why don't we do those things? Ronnie Stanley's available. Why don't we go get Ronnie Stanley to protect backsides?
They're cursed by the meme.
Like, what
They're
are we
cursed by the
doing?
meme because they could have taken Penei Sewell. They opted to take, and it's like you said, they opted to appease Joe and take his buddy Ja'Maar when they already got a wide receiver. They already had a wide receiver one, Tee Higgins. But no, we're not going to take the probably gold jacket offensive tackle Penei Sewell to protect our prized quarterback. We're going to appease him. We're going to get him his star. And granted, Joe Burrow was right. Ja'Marr Chase is different. Respect. Joe was right. But look, they're haunted by the meme 5 some years later. Joe's been on his ass every year, yet they're putting up fantasy record-breaking numbers. It's not how you win games.
Yeah, I'm right with you, Chuck. I'm right with you. Where do we see the Bengals looking like this year? If we had to put an outlook for the season, how do we see them?
The thing with me, if Joe Burrow's healthy and the offensive line is just like mid to bad, they'll make it work. The question is if Joe Burrow is going to be healthy. If Joe Burrow is healthy, I see them as an 11-12 win football team. Probably stuck with a wild card, though, because I think the Ravens are better. But the Bengals are an 11-12 win football team lying down if Joe Burrow is healthy with these guys. I trust the Bengals to put together a decent defense. I think Hendrickson staying. They got superstars. And I think they got a decent team around them still.
I agree. I was thinking like 10, 11 wins. I mean, that's granted, everybody's healthy, all in one piece. Will we get there? That's the $1 million question, and that's what the Bengals are gambling on, and it's just a horrible gamble that they're making, in my opinion.
We
Go
ahead. Sorry.
If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm happy we have our guys on offense, but as Grant said, I'm disgusted having to watch that defense on Sundays.
I think we already know the Bengals' identity and how they're going to win games and what their record will be at the end of the year. I think everyone would be shocked if this team was a 14-win team because they're not. Everyone would be shocked if this team is a 9-win team because they're not. We already know they're going to between the two. If the Ravens have a great year, they won't win the division. If they don't have a great year and they're 10, 11 wins, no, maybe the Bengals win it. Jackson Dart goes to Cleveland, they won't win the division. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're probably around a 9, 10, 11, 12 win team. Great. But I have a hard time believing they're going to make any runs.
I
with
could
what the
actually
trenches
see
look
them
like.
being a 14-win team in the regular season. That's what's crazy is I could see
I
that
could.
happening,
Me
but
too.
when they get to the playoffs, that's where they're going to fold.
I don't see that ever happening. I mean, what's the closest they've even been to that?
They've been close. I think 11 wins was probably their best season. 11, 12. That's what I think. They could get to 14 wins, but it's not going to matter because they don't have the defense in the playoffs.
Yeah. We'll see. That's the if they can get a crazy draft and get some guys over there.
It could happen.
It's a different story.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, they're gonna have to live and die. They better be watching film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those scouts better be doing their work.
Yes,
that is for certain.
Because there's going to be guys on the board in April that Cincinnati can pick, fly them into Cincinnati, and they can be the reason they can win the Super Bowl next year. Because that's why you can't let Tee Higgins leave. Ja'Mar's obviously going to stay. You have to keep these guys because if you do hit on a couple drafts, that's how you win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think they're one draft away from winning it, though, in my opinion.
No, there are a couple.
I'm just saying is with Sam Hubbard leaving, if Trey Henderson doesn't stay, the defense is not good. I mean, look what happened when they got rid of Jesse Bates. Everything went to crap, like defensively. This team needs some type of identity on defense, and I don't think their one class of good rookies isn't going to do it.
Not a regular class.
Part of it too. Well, we got to think though. Last year's defense compared to the year before, they were pretty much the exact same defense. The only difference now from this year's defense from last year's defense is that Lou Amarillo's gone.
Was Jesse Bates gone then?
No, he left. Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah, he's been gone.
Yeah. The only big thing is, can this new defense coordinator fit these different puzzle pieces together and make something out of what they have? Because if Trey Hendrickson still stays, they still have B.J. Hill in the middle. They've got Logan Wilson. So they've got some players still. Mike Hilton's still there. They've got some players. It's just, can they fit together?
Yeah, they're making chili every Sunday. They're just throwing what they got in the fridge in the pot.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Any other thoughts on the Bengals?
I like chili.
I think the Bengals are hungry. I don't think we're gonna see them. They got paid. They're fat and happy. I think the Bengals want to win.
I think you can guarantee if they start out 2-1, 3-0, they're a playoff team.
It is going to be dangerous. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Bengals are dangerous.
I have no doubt they can beat anybody. I just have a hard time seeing them string together a bunch of games, especially in January, without the trenches being a dominant aspect.
The thing with the Bengals is, what if they do start stringing those games together? You don't want to play. Like I don't have anyone.
It last year. I said last year. I said if the Bengals are at 7 seed, they're the last team you want to play out the gate. You do not want to play Joe Burrow in January. If he strings it together, you're screwed.
Yeah. Well, and nobody's got two guys to cover T and Ja'Mar. I don't think there's an NFL team with two guys. There's no one that can even guard Ja'Mar one-on-one, let alone Ja'Mar and T.
I don't know, man. The Philly Eagles might have enough.
They're getting put in body bags out there.
Yeah, but no, it's not about that. It's just Joe Burrow won't have more than 2 seconds. That's the issue.
Right.
It's easy to guard somebody when he can't get 5 yards down the field.
Here's the thing.
If Joe has his 3 seconds, it's on.
That's the thing. Joe Burrow, people are forgetting, he's the second best quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
And Ja'Maar Chase is probably the second best receiver in this league. Joe Burrow's a killer. That's what I'm trying to say.
Where'd you put Joe? Where's Ja'Mar at?
Second, yeah.
He's top 2 and he ain't 2.
Jalen Hurts is QB1, right?
Nah, Ja'Mar. And all due respect to Jefferson, Jamar's better, but that's an argument for another day. I've got Joe Burrow personally, solidly in my 5 spot. But it's biased. You don't want to hear my list.
No, we don't. No, we got to move quick here because if we do, we're gonna be here for 30 minutes arguing why Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence are in the 4 and 5 spot.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Jameis is 7.
Shit. In New York.
Oh Lord.